The first of these four topics I'm going to talk about is change in mindset. So for me, a change in mindset, I believe many people, and I did this as well early on, where I went to these tournaments thinking about I want to win. I want to win this tournament. I want to win every game. I'm there to win. And that was my mentality was around winning, which if you're so focused on just winning, your actions and how you react to everything that happens is all going to be measured upon are you reaching the goal of winning. So for example, you're in a match, it's the third game, and you're playing a rookie, say you're a semi-pro, you're playing a rookie, you think you should beat this guy, but somehow he's up 4-2. And so your mentality right then, if your goal is to win, and your sole goal is to win, then your mentality is going to be negative. You're going to be like, oh my God, this guy's beating me. This sucks. I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. If your focus is not solely on the win, but solely on what a lot of people term as the growth mindset, or other people term it as the infinite game. So growth mindset is where you're in a game and you're on a path of improvement. You're looking at things like, okay, I want to be a foosball player. I want to go to these tournaments and I want to learn. I want to improve. That's a growth mindset versus I want to go to a foosball tournament. I want to win. And if I don't win, I'm going to feel bad about myself and I'm going to practice harder. Like that's not a growth mindset. A growth mindset is you're still trying to win. Don't get me wrong. Always trying to win these games. The final goal eventually is, of course, to give yourself the best chance to win. But your focus from day in to day out, you realize you're on a path, you're on a journey. You want to improve upon that journey. You can't be, if you're a rookie now, you can't be a pro master like that. You realize you're on a journey to be a pro master. So in order to allow yourself to go from rookie to pro master, you realize you're on a path, you're on a journey, so you need to improve. So if your focus and your mindset is on growth, is on improvement, then as you go through and play these games, it's much easier to handle the ups and downs of a game. It's not as important. Like a single little game where you're playing, let's say you're playing that rookie again, and if he beats you 4-2, you're like, whatever, you beat me, who cares? I'm learning. Maybe I need to learn how to play this type of player better. I need to learn how to adjust to whatever it is he's doing that happens to be working. Maybe he's slopping in goals. Maybe I need to be better at blocking slop, or maybe I need to be better at really valuing my possession so I don't give them the ball so they can get that slop. Maybe I need to improve my execution because obviously I gave him the ball somewhere along the line, so maybe my execution is off, or maybe my reading is off. These are all growth mindset things. What do I need to improve on to get better? So that's a big factor. A big key thought there is like with a growth mindset, your thought should be, what do I need to improve on to get better? You should be searching for areas that need improvement. You should be searching for them constantly. Like, what am I not good at? Like, if you ask me, what's the best way that I can get better the fastest? I'm going to tell you, go find the thing you are the worst at, the thing you are scared of, the thing you are hiding. Go find that and work on it. That will allow you to improve the fastest. It's not going to be comfortable, but if you have that mindset where this is what you're doing, you're on a path to improve, you want to be able to constantly improve every day. Can I get a little bit better? Then that's a growth mindset. That'll allow you to get there. And it'll get the ego out of the way, thinking, oh, I don't want to do that, I'm scared, I don't like my wall pass, or I don't like my pull side, or whatever it is. People hide that sometimes and they get away from it, and that just hides it. You're not going to get better at it. It's just you're going to be avoiding it, you're going to be hiding it, and pro masters and pros will be able to find it and they will force you into it and you will lose. So then you need to actually, change your mindset to be like, I want to find the areas of my game that need work. So again, if you understand that your overall long-term goal is to improve, and that's all you want to do is constantly improve, every day strive to improve, then the mindset going into matches is the ups and downs are just a lot easier to handle. Your mind won't wander there so quickly about, oh, I'm losing, this guy sucks. Your mind's going to wander to, oh, what did you do there? That was actually kind of cool. Maybe I can learn from that. Like you take the ego out of it. Because it's not about winning and losing, it's about growth, and it's about learning, and it's about you're just trying to discover, and you'll start to see other people, and you start to see value in what other people are doing. So that was a big mindset shift for me. And it was a kind of easy one. I was always very curious and wanting to learn, but just getting so focused away from the winning and losing, where I just would focus on what's happening, kind of figure out the puzzle of this match. What does this guy do? What doesn't he do? What's working for me? What isn't? And not having an unbiased reaction to those things. Not like, oh, his push side's really good, but it sucks. He shouldn't be working. No, it's like his push side's good. make them hit something else. Like there's no bias, there's no positive or negative reaction to it. It's just fact. And so you react to those facts, and then you take them into consideration, and you adjust your game appropriately. Along with that, finding ways to improve. Pretty much every practice session, every game, you should be trying to find ways to identify those areas that need improvement. And I'll talk about some of the practice techniques that allow you to do that. It's kind of a built-in practice technique. I'll talk about it in the how to practice effectively portion of this video or video series. Playing people locally versus playing people on tour or playing in tournaments. The mindset there, like I know we all locally, we have people that we maybe don't like, that we know their games, we know how to beat them. I think we need to get away from just knowing that you can beat those people and using the techniques that you know how to beat them with. You need to get into the habit of use those local people to practice with. Don't worry if they beat you or if you're beating them. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you can beat them. You want to use that local time to practice. So what I've done is actually tell the people locally to me, hey, my pull side is weak. I want you to really force me to hit pull side. And if you block my pushes, like my pull side's weak, I want you to, I'm just telling you, I'm not going to hit pull side every time, but my pull side's my weakest side. I tell people my pull side's my weakest side. I tell people locally, so that when I'm playing these people week in, week out, that they're forcing me to improve. They know right from the start that maybe my pull side's my weakest side, and maybe I'm not as comfortable with it. So they know they're going to make me actually, shoot that they're going to block the push side, knowing my pull side's my weakest. So they're going to really make me, work on that thing that is maybe not so strong. Give them the insight that maybe they don't know. It's like, oh, my lane passes, I just can't hit it these weeks. I don't know what's happening. So they'll hear that and they'll go, okay, I'm going to make them do walls, or make them do lanes, whatever it is. So things like that. You can use those local people to help you improve on those points that you need to improve on. But in order to do that, you kind of have to tell them and give up some information. I also use the local people to actually practice new defenses, practice new shots, practice, and where even at the risk of losing a game, you're playing in a draw locally maybe, and you're at that draw and you could have the mentality, I want to work on a different kind of defense, and it's not going to work as great as maybe your normal defense against some of these players that it might work against or has worked in the past. But you have this growth mentality, this growth mindset where this is what I'm doing. I want to work on this defense. I really don't have the ability to work on it with anyone else, but I do have these ability at these draws or these other smaller tournaments. And then you can use it to work on, and then you can work on it during the match. But then say if it gets like 4-4, then yeah, you can go back to your tried and true whatever to know to block them kind of thing. But you can choose to work on it at the risk of losing. But even if you do lose, understand that's fine. You are growth minded. It's not important that you lost that match. They might be a little bit happier than normally they'd be, but just like shake their hands, say good job, whatever. But deep down, you really weren't bringing your A game. You were working on finding your better A game by using these techniques to practice new things even locally during little smaller tournaments. And that's also a bit of I find people fall into a habit when they play locally, a habit that doesn't help them at tournaments. Because if your habit locally is like, oh, I know this guy, he shoots at this, and I know he doesn't have a this, oh, I know I can use this 5-bar pass on him. And so you're not in the habit of discovering those things that you need at a tournament. Because at a tournament, you're not playing players all the time. You're playing new players, so you have to have the habit to actually search for those habits of theirs. Search for those reads that or those giveaways, those tells that they might have. Where locally, if you don't practice that, it's not going to be part of your normal habit, your normal default behavior, your default mental approach to the game. Another one about mindset is, and I got this from, I believe it was the Inner Game of Tennis, is realizing that competition is a cooperative scenario. It is a cooperative event. In order to have competition, you have to have an opponent. So when you have an opponent and you understand this is cooperative, you need to both be there. You can take the mindset, or you can have the mental thought that if he scores and shoots and does a nice shot, you can be like, hey, nice shot. You can actually reward him, be cooperative in this exchange, because without him shooting on you and without you having to try a defense, it doesn't happen. You are alone practicing. So you need that other opponent, that other player to have that interaction, to be able to play the game at all. So you can change your mindset as to he's not the enemy, he's like your partner in this exchange of you're both enjoying the game of foosball or whatever game it is you're playing. So with that slight mindset change, it makes it easier to go away from a positive or negative reaction to everything that happens. Like if he scores, is that you might have a negative reaction. Oh, this guy sucks. Or now if he scores, it's like, oh, good for you. Okay, now my turn. Total different reaction, which allows your mental state to be more positive. You always want to keep your mental state positive because it allows you to just be more open to what's happening. You're not angry or mad. You're not negative about what's happening. It's all those negative thoughts are the things that get you buried down into the choke kind of scenario. So another way to think of that the way you react to situations, and I have often used the term, like these days we all have cell phones. And if a cell phone rings, we all invariably, we pick it up and we're like, oh yeah, what, huh, what? Like just by reaction, just by our default habit behavior. If that phone rings, we feel everything must stop and we got to pick it up and look at it and answer it. But you can choose not to answer it. If that phone rings, you can be like, the thing will ring, you can keep talking to your friends as if you were, or doing whatever you're doing, the phone's ringing. You can choose not to react the way you would normally act. So another way to think about that with the mental part of foosball is like, understand that the player across from you or the team across from you, sometimes their behavior is trying to get you off your game. I've played tons of players where they're ranting and raving and they're yelling and screaming after every point and they're kind of get all pumped up and they got their nose snarled and they're all really aggressive, but they're really doing it, one, to pump them up a little bit, but two, to hopefully get you off your game. So with that understanding that they're behaving this way to get you off your game, you can choose to react the way you want. You can choose to react calmly and go, are you done? Can we play now? And then let the ref do his job. And then don't let it affect you. Because with the understanding that that's why they're doing it, you're like, well, if that's why he's doing it, I'm not going to let it affect me. You can just choose to react that way. It sounds a little bit fishy, but it actually does work. I've done this many times where players are like, they'll score a goal and they'll be like, yeah, in your face. And I'll just stand there and go, you done? Can we play now? And just show them that it's not phasing you whatsoever, so that'll get them off their game a little bit, but also it doesn't get you off your game. You just remain in your comfort level wherever that is, and we'll talk about that as well because everyone has a different comfort level, a different intensity level. So that's really about mindset, about, bottom line, mindset, you're in it for the long run. You should be trying to discover things for growth, identify areas that need improvement and work on them. I'll repeat that again and again because it is so important. Once we have that mindset of, oh, look, I'm dropping lane passes. Okay, mental note, I need to work on that more in practice. That's a positive reaction to a negative circumstance as opposed to, oh, my lane pass is dropping. Oh, I suck. I'm going to lose this match. What have you learned? Nothing. That you've pushed yourself maybe more and more to that choke-like situation with those negative thoughts. So if you start to have mindset, growth-like reactions to what's happening around you, it's just so much easier to deal with the ups and downs of matches in big tournaments where it's like you lose a match, you're like, okay, next time, no, I'm going to do this. So you're already prepared for next time. It's not, oh, I suck, he beat me, he got lucky, blah, 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 like I hear so often. But so that's mindset. So, okay, the next one we'll talk about is practice, effective practice techniques.